Hi readers, it's Lori. Welcome back to my channel, Books, Ink, and Paper, or welcome if this is your first time. And thank you for being here, for watching. If you're a subscriber, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you're not, I would love it if you would take a look at my channel and see if this is something that you want to follow and subscribe to. I wanted to talk to you today about something that's been on my mind recently. I've looked at this before periodically, but I've never looked at it in the way that I'm looking at it now. I know you're thinking, what is she talking about? I went to Goodreads and looked at the first 10 books that I added on my want to read shelf because I was curious what they were, and that would essentially be some of my latest backlist titles, right? Or earliest backlist titles, depending on which way you look at this. And I am committed this year, to reading the backlist. And so I thought it would be fun to look at those 10, share them with you, and then I would love for you to pick which one you think I should read before the end of the year, let's say, or which ones. I could certainly try for more than one. I at first thought I would read one in September, but I also am noticing that I don't want to kind of overwhelm myself with have-tos and would rather have some possibilities. So I think if you vote within the next 2 weeks, like by the end of August, the end date is, let's just say the 30th, which is a Saturday. If you vote by then I can read one of these books in the next quarter. So it's essentially kind of like you pick my nonfiction read, only this time it's you pick my fiction read, except for a couple of these are nonfiction. And you pick which one you think that I should read next. If you've read any of these, I would also love for you to share that with me too and let me know how you felt about them. So number 10, we're going to go from 10 to 1, is Lamb by Christopher Moore. This is the Gospel according to Biff, Christ's childhood pal. A lot of people find this to be very sacrilegious. I find it to be very interesting. My partner could not wait to get her hands on this one. And of course, it is a copy that looks like a Bible. This has been out for a number of years, and I have never read it. I have not read a lot of Christopher Moore's as she has done. This special edition gift copy came out in 2002 or 2007. I'm not sure that's the copyright date, but I think it came out around that same time. So this is literally a sort of a story about, and my partner says that while it is amusing, because Christopher Moore is amusing, it is also very thought-provoking and very interesting. So this is about Biff and Christ Jesus, and they go through this number of years together, and it shares all of the stories about them throughout this book. And I know that she really has wanted me to read this for a long time, and I have resisted. I don't know why. Maybe because it is a little, it feels a little like my little Lutheran Lori is concerned, but I think I can do it. So if that is the one you pick, that might be the one that I read. Another one is Virginia Woolf's A Room of One's Own. I have read a couple of Virginia Woolf novels, but never have read this one. It was not something I had to read in school, although some of hers were, but this was one that I have constantly kind of said, oh, I need to get to that. It's very short, so this would be an easy read. She died in 1941, so she wrote this a long, long time ago. This one is a reimagining of if Shakespeare had a sister. And if she was really brilliant and her very talented, but her life ended up very differently than his. And so it says her genius was unexpressed, but she had been allowed to create. Had she been allowed to create, she would have reached the same heights as her immortal sibling. So this takes on the establishment, using her gift of language to dissect the world around her and give a voice to those who have none. The message here is simple. A woman must have an income and a room of her own in order to have the freedom to create. I've always loved that particular statement, and I think that this would be a good read. Again, if you've read any of these, let me know. Gregory Maguire, in addition to Christopher Moore, is also a favorite of my partner's, and I have read Wicked, and that was it. I never went on to any others. So I have What the Dickens. And this one is about a storm, and Dinah listens to her cousin Gage tell an unlikely story about tooth fairies, known as the Skibbereen, who are living in warring colonies right in the neighborhood. Dinah is skeptical, but as the story unfolds and the storm rages, she begins to believe. I thought this was kind of a retelling about something else. So it is a fantasy, obviously, and this is the story of a rogue tooth fairy, essentially. And I think it would be fun, and it would probably be a very quick read, mass market paperback, and it's a cute cover. I love that. Yeah. The front of this book says Gregory Maguire does for the dark and stormy night what he did for witches and wicked. So, okay. A nonfiction that was on my list. This is an author I've enjoyed other books by, but I never got to this one, which is perfect timing if this ends up being the one you pick, because we are looking at some decisions that we want to make about our finances and about how to prepare for the future and those kinds of things. So this is Peace and Plenty, Finding Your Path to Financial Serenity by Sarah von Breathnach. This is a woman who wrote Simple Abundance, and I have several of those books, and I do love her work very, very much. I also don't love um, learning about money necessarily, but what I don't love about learning about money is how to invest it and what to do with it. What I do love about learning about money is that this is about your own personal belief systems, your own relationship to money, how you feel about spending and not spending, what brings you joy. Do you, like just really looking at the thrill of thrift, the gratitude garden, the art of elegant economics. I think these are just great chapters. And I've just never gotten to this. The Road to Perdition. So she has a lot of quotes, but it's really generally a self-help book that isn't going to tell you how to invest your money or what to invest your money in, but just to help you have a better, I think, have a better relationship with money and to have financial serenity. And wouldn't we all like to have that, especially now? I just recently talked about this one. I have not read it. The Right to Write by Julia Cameron. This is the invitation and initiation into the writing life. It's been sitting there. It is, I'm sure, great. It is not terribly long as well. So she looks at all kinds of subjects here. Why don't we do it in the road? That's interesting. Loneliness, sketching, the well. Um, just again, a lot of self-help to help you to figure out how to be creative and how to own that writing as a daily activity, not just in morning pages, but really I think she means in our lives. It's human nature to write, she says. It claims our world. It makes it directly and specifically our own. We should write because humans are spiritual beings, and writing is a powerful form of prayer and meditation, connecting us to both our insights and to a higher and deeper level of inner guidance. Yes, please. So this one, another classic, As I Lay Dying by William Faulkner. I have read another couple of Faulkners for school as well, but never did get to this one. I've had it for a good while because I've been on Goodreads for a long while. And I really have no idea why I didn't get to this one. This is about a family. Their name is the Bundrens, and their mother, wife, Addie, has passed away, and they go on an epic sort of journey across Mississippi to bury Addie. And it's told in all of the perspectives of this entire family, including Addie. So I've always really kind of been curious about that and how he did this. Faulkner was a brilliant guy. He's very popular here in Mississippi. I've been to the grounds of his home. I've been through his home. Like he's kind of a big thing here in Mississippi, right? But what I love about this is apparently it's both humorous and poignant, I think, and a little bit dark. So I would, consider this one to be a good read, and it's not terribly long, and I got it. I bought it in Mississippi. So there you go. This one will look familiar to you. Language of Flowers by Vanessa Diffenbaugh. I have not read it yet. It's on my list of books that I think I said would self-destruct, right? If I didn't read it. I've had it for a bit. I may have to read this one by the end of the year, regardless of whether you choose it or not, just because I feel bad if I don't. Like I've committed to this more than once and just haven't done it. So I need to just bite the bullet, so to speak. But this one is about a foster child who ages out, and she then is sort of, I think, adrift and trying to find her way and some stability. And she has a love of flowers. And so it's the Victorian language of flowers was used to convey romantic expressions. But for her, they've been more useful in communicating grief, mistrust, and solitude. So she's emancipated and has nowhere to go and sleeps in a public park and plants a garden. Another classic. Here we go. Alice Walker, The Temple of My Familiar. I've had it for a while. I started it a while ago and just did not finish it. I was reading it at the same time as a friend of mine was, although this was way before BookTube, but we were both reading it and she kept on and I did not. But I have always wanted to get back to it. I have heard it is beautiful and brilliant. And I also know that it's difficult, it's dark, it's tricky. So this is about a number of people who are traveling who've been displaced and who have been they don't have their own history, they don't have their own family anymore, and they're all traveling, as I remember, together. And there is a note of some of the characters kind of hovering, it says, tantalizingly around this, characters from The Color Purple. So I've always been fascinated. I didn't get far enough in it, I think, to be able to really kind of get my teeth and my heart into it, but I would love to give it another try for sure. All right, and the second to the last is Son of a Witch by Gregory Maguire. This was during my Wicked era, I guess, and I didn't get to it, but my partner did. So this one is about a boy named Lear, and he is kind of abandoned and on his own, as I remember. He was hiding in the castle after Dorothy did in The Witch, and so bruised, comatose, and left for dead in a gully, he's shattered in spirit as well as form, but then Saint Glinda takes care of him and wills him back to life. And then the question is he really Elphaba's son? Does he have special powers? What are they? All kinds of questions come up. But this one is not as long as Wicked, which is good. And a lot of people really like this one. I just haven't gotten to it. I think it scares me. To be quite honest, I think it scares me. All right, so the last one, drum roll, the one that was at the very end, first added to my Goodreads account, The Book Thief by Markus Zuzak. Are you surprised? I don't know that any of these have any sort of connection to each other particularly, but this is how I added them. So I have wanted to get to this one for a while. I started this one as well. I just found a bookmark in it that I just did not get back to. But this is the character in this. One of the characters in this is Death. Another character in this is a young girl, and her name is Liesel. I was like, it's something like Hansel and Gretel, or it's Liesel. And Liesel finds a book, and it's been hidden in the snow, and it's the Gravedigger's Handbook. And so Liesel is reading this and trying to figure out where this came from and what this means. Meanwhile, war is in outbreak in Nazi Germany, and so all of these things I think are going to intertwine. As I remember her, if I'm remembering this right, her family is, I have another little thing. Her family is hiding someone in their basement. I could be wrong about that. I didn't look carefully, but I feel like that is what was happening. And this is made into an adaptation. I've never watched it. I've seen bits and pieces of it when family members were watching it, but I've really never dug in. So this is a good possibility. All right. So again, 10 choices. I will put them in the description box below. You get to choose one for me to read by the end of the year. I do reserve the right to, if I DNF it, to pick another one on my own, or maybe I'll come back in and have you pick the next one, or you could maybe pick your top 3, whatever works for you. But I would love for you to press one of these into my hands and get me to get this off my backlist and enjoy it, because that's really the big part of this. So in the comments below, if you want to comment, do that, please. I would appreciate that. I love when you vote. I love your perspectives on things. Love to know, again, if you're looking at this stack, which one would you want to read first if you had a choice? Also, if you don't want to comment, the emoji is always a possibility. So you could, let's see, put in a somebody running, because I'm essentially running toward the end of the year and I want to make sure that I slow down and get some backlist books read that I have really cherished apparently for a long time and forgot all about for the most part. So thanks so much again for watching. Thanks for all your comments, your support. Thank you for concern about my back. I am much, much better today. I'm still taking it easy, but ibuprofen and massage chairs are the best thing. So thanks again. And as always, happy reading. Bye.